strong and prosperous and vibrant city that gives as much to sisters and brothers a chance to move ahead. Mahatma Gandhi said, "You must become the change you wish to see in the world," and that is exactly what you do. I know about the great work that all of you have done fighting for living wages, for health care for everyone, and it's not just the rich and the lucky, but for restoring the freedom of workers to organize into unions. I've been here on a couple of occasions, as Harriet said. Any time that you've needed me, I don't think there was a single time that I was asked to come to Cleveland or to Ohio for any function that I didn't make the time, reschedule something else, and get here, which is exactly why I did to be here, because from here I head on into Columbus, which I know that some of you will also be joining me there as well. Now, Debbie suggested that I start out by telling you a little bit about my background, where I came from. I didn't grow up in a union family. I'm the daughter of cotton sharecroppers in Texas, second generation Mexican-American. I didn't know what a union was. Started out at 30 cents an hour, weeding cotton, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week at the age of 10. And I finally worked myself up to $1 an hour by the age of 19. But in the rural Texas in the 1950s, unions were unheard of. It was a word that none of us were familiar with. For my family, good wages and health insurance, disability insurance, pensions, unheard of. We didn't know what they were, and life was not easy. My dad, as a cotton sharecropper, had to work early dawn to late dusk every single day, 10, 15 hours, whatever it took to work. By the time that I went up to the age of 19, the best dream that I had was that I could one day work myself up to become, here it is, this was my dream, a cashier at Sears. I thought that would be the dream job. Air conditioning, you know, I could dress up every day and go to work. But I also saw during the days that I lived there, the migrant workers that would come through the Lubbock, Texas area from the Midwest and work themselves up to the Midwest, into Wisconsin, Michigan, right up until Christmas time. And their children, I would see them in school. And they would work in Texas and work themselves up. Every year it was the same, back-breaking labor, little money, no promise of a better life, very little education for their kids, and no future. In fact, I was part of a second-tier education program in my small city of Lorenzo, Texas. We didn't quite get the attention of the education because we were farm workers' kids. But I saw the young kids of migrant workers, and they got a third-tier education because the teachers knew they were only there for a couple of months and they would then be gone, so they got very little from them. I also saw the bracero program. I saw the Mexicans, contract workers who would come to the U.S. and they were treated no better than slave labor. They were made to sleep in chicken coops and shacks with aluminum roofs, and I can just imagine that you know how hot that can get. But that's where they had to sleep. And then they had accounts at the little grocery store, and they overcharged them, and that's how they got their money. But when I was working in the cotton fields, the biggest dream was that someday I could work somewhere inside and have a nice job. Then something happened. I became a secretary for a construction local in Lubbock, Texas. Got the job because I was bilingual. I could speak Spanish and write it and interpret it. The guy never really asked me if I could type. If I could type, he did ask me that. I told him yes, I could. And I still type the same way. These 3 little fingers. That's how I operate my BlackBerry now. So I went to work for the laborers construction local there. And the beautiful thing happened. I learned what a union was. I saw the laborers who would come in there and get a contract to work for decent wages. They had health insurance. So at the age of 53, my dad got to be too old to work in a cotton farm, and I said, "Dad, come work at a construction local. I'll get you a job. I'll put you on the hiring list." "Oh, no, I can't do it." He says, I can't work it. I said, "But Dad, I said, you and my uncles built the house. You poured the concrete. You put the house up. You built a house. That's building a building. And he says, well, I don't know. He says, I'll try. The first paycheck that my dad received for a 40-hour week, the first time he went out to work, he brought the check home, and it was standard practice for everybody on payday. You went straight to the store to cash your check, right? Dad didn't cash the check. He waited until I got home from work, and he showed me the check with tears in his eyes, and he said, I earned more in 1 week than I could earn in 1 month. And he said, and I still feel good enough. I'm not too tired that I can't go and get a beer. And he went and cashed the check, and he got himself a beer. He had health insurance, but more important than anything, he had dignity and respect on the job. So I found out the labor movement could move mountains, could make things happen for people. It wasn't easy in Texas, because I think all of you know that we are somewhat of a backward state. We're right to work. We let you have George W. Bush. Yeah, I know. Well, he's back. Thank you. He lives up in Dallas in about a $2-something million home. But we have, as unionists, fought tooth and nail to get to where we are and to help our brothers and sisters do the same. It was a few years that I spent working in the various unions. I did end up with AFSCIO for 25 years. Then I was elected Executive Vice President in 1995. And that changed my life, because then I was able to go out and preach and practice what I'd come to believe in, and that was very simple. It isn't just about unions. Unions are the linchpin. I mean, we make the middle class. We help bring Social Security, unemployment insurance, workers' comp, all of the good things that workers have. But one of the things I was telling Debbie a little while ago is the good thing about unions is that we slowly, especially here in Cleveland, you've begun to realize that we are part of the community. What we do good for our folks, for the folks that pay our salaries and pay the dues, etc., is that we're part of that community. And we want to include, and we want the community to include us in doing good and better things for everybody. And that's one of the things that I love about this movement. I think in Texas it's going to take us a little while longer because we still have some of those bubbas that still live there. Well, we not only have bubbas, we have bubettes that live and love and just, I don't know, we just can't seem to get a live and love and just, I don't know, we just can't seem to get a